Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Tennessee. Jacob is on assignment somewhere doing something he probably shouldn't, I'm sure. But we're here to talk Packers tonight. We got an awesome show for you guys and gals. We're going to talk Packers Browns injury report to lead things off. Then we're going to dive into the preview. We're going to show you the betting line, and it looks a lot better than it did last week for the Packers. That worries me a little bit, going to be honest, but we'll break all that down, as well as the PFF grades. We've got offensive personnel tendencies. Might surprise you, the Packers are running, I think, the fourth or fifth most 12 personnel in the entire league. We're also got the coverage data that we're looking for. We've got team rankings in terms of team statistics, yards per play, points per play, defensive points per play allowed, all that good stuff. So we'll dive into all of it tonight and give you a little bit better understanding of how this Packers team is actually stacking up with the rest of the league. But before we do, let's do that YouTube stuff. Get that out of the way. If you would, hit that like button, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We are fans just like you talking Packers on the daily. You're jumping in here for the first time on a Wednesday evening. What you're going to see is the first injury report, like we said, and we start to dive into the next upcoming opponent, kind of give you a little bit better understanding of what do they do well, what do they do not so well, who's some of the Tuesday players on that team, and like I said, some of their tendencies. So excited to get into that. If you're looking for that kind of content on the daily, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live. Let's get into the important stuff first here, though, guys, as we've got an update. You guys remember this picture, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we remember that. Well, here we go. Bang. We have boy finally got in.
Oh, my goodness. It almost looks exactly like him.
Tim, I want to know Emilio's take here. He plays a lot of Madden, Tim.
I'm upset.
Are you disappointed? You're upset?
Yeah, I'm upset.
EA is watching right now. EA is watching, so go ahead.
EA, leave the man with the fresh cut that you had all ready to go. I mean, you can build off of that. You know what I mean? Like, they gave him the afro. I would have just been a little bit happier if they'd kept the same cut, just give him a little bit more attention to detail on the hair there. But it came out pretty crispy. I'm not going to lie. I still like the original.
Yeah, if you're modded up in the modding community on PC, we already got the tats on him and everything. It looks a lot better on the modding community. But I do like the earrings, like the studs there, right?
I didn't even see those. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think, Tim? I know this is very important to you in your Packers season.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's certainly a hell of an improvement on that dumpster fire we had to deal with prior to this. Mm-hmm. Say what you want. At least, the people have spoken and EA listened, right? And the mods took care of business. I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm sure Matthew Golden himself is probably way happier with this run.
No doubt about it. We're not where we want to be, but we're a lot better. I mean, as I put out before, they massacred my boy.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Absolutely horrible. So, all right, let's get in. We're going to keep that, by the way, just as a reminder of how far along we've come. So, all right, let's jump into the injury. Well, before we jump into the injury report, anything you guys want to hit on? Anything at the forefront of your mind surrounding the Packers? Anything could be the Browns game upcoming. Maybe you watch some more tape and you've seen something that we might have missed. Anything at all?
Just thinking about Bird having the double surgery, man. Hopefully, day 2 of recovery is going well. That phantom Jones fracture that he had on his leg, that magically got repaired, according to some experts out here that were convinced that, he didn't have a Jones fracture, but and apparently they still don't believe. They're actually doubling down on this, despite Jaden Reed saying it himself, medical doctors performing a procedure. But shout out to Bird, man. Hopefully he's back sooner than later.
I did watch that one Kurt Benker video. He was going over Burrow's turf toe, and he said it was a grade 3, right? So he said he had a grade 3, and it's basically when that ligament comes off of it. He says he doesn't think he's back this year. You know what I mean? So that's what at least you got Sean Clifford, the big red dog, to come in there and save the Bengals season.
That's pretty wild development, right?
I'm telling you.
Clifford, I've heard of that guy.
It certainly makes that post-bye week matchup at Lambeau all the more interesting, right?
It very, very much so does. But yeah, back to Jayden Reed there, though. If you guys are wondering what Tim was talking about, Jason Wilde reported right out of the gate. He said, I got it from a really good source, which means he got it from Jayden Reed or Jayden Reed's agent. Wilde didn't say that. I'm saying that, right? And most of the time, that's what that means when they're really, really emphasizing this is a good source. He said it was a Jones fracture. I'll just say the name. Peter Bukowski came out and was like, it's not, I don't believe it's a Jones fracture. I heard it wasn't a Jones fracture and blah, 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 blah. Well, they said today, Adam Schefter tweeted out, which this information, obviously, you know how the Packers are with injuries. They're not going to give any information out, right?
Right.
So this came from Jayden Reed's camp. He had surgery for the Jones fracture as well as the collarbone. And the knucklehead still doubled down. Don't, like Tim said, doubling down that it wasn't a Jones fracture. Just take the L, dude. But I've learned 42 years on this earth, this ball of mud that's supposedly spinning through space. Let's get that conversation started. So what I've learned is people don't want to hear you say, told you so. I got that one right? They don't care if you're wrong. Just own up to it. Like, everybody's wrong. We're all wrong at some point or another. These people that try to lead on like they're just flawless in their analysis and, it's kind of what we're going through with the pass rush right now. All of a sudden, now everybody's acting like this defense is just, whoa, boy, Micah Parsons made a huge difference. This defense was dominant down the stretch last year. We talked about it in the last, half of the season. Micah Parsons helps. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited about it. It's only going to get better from here on out. But just take the L. You said we didn't have a pass rush last year, and it just simply wasn't the case. You have one of the best run defenses in the league. So I digress. Anyway, again, the moral of the story there is don't feel like you got to be right about everything. Just be honest. And
just sit your butt outside.
Exactly that. So let's jump into the injuries here, guys. And, the two biggest injuries, we'll hit the actual injury report here in a second. The two biggest injuries is obviously to Zach Tom and Aaron Banks. Right? I think we would all agree. We want to make sure that offensive line is healthy as soon as possible, especially going out this week against the Myles Garrett. So Dominic Yates was at practice today, said Aaron Banks, Zach Tom, and Bo Melton are back at practice for the Packers. Matt LaFleur said the two linemen will be limited today. Melton participated in individual drills. Of the active roster, no Jayden Reed. So of all the active roster, only Jayden Reed was the only one missing, okay? Now, I will say this. Aaron Banks, it sounds like, see here, I'm pretty sure that's Aaron Banks. He looks a lot better, right? He looks like he's ready to go. And I think as a matter of fact, Bill Huber asked Aaron Banks about Sunday's game, and he just cut him off quick and said, I'm playing. So feel really, really good about getting your left guard back. What does that mean for the offensive line? Okay. To me, it could go a number of different ways. I wouldn't put Jordan Morgan at right tackle because, and the reason I want to bring that up is if you go to the next video, I think it might be, here's Zach Tom, right? Now look at Zach Tom is not moving quite as well, right? And they actually asked Zach Tom, I want to say, I can't remember who it was that asked about Zach Tom. Might have been Ryan Wood. Yeah.
In the interview?
Yeah. Ryan Wood asked Zach Tom, he asked if he's optimistic about playing Sunday after practicing today. They said he paused and said, ask me again tomorrow. Packers right tackle still laboring with an oblique injury. He said it's especially painful to run, but he gutted through today. So I do not want to see them try to rush him back, So here's the issue we got, Tim. You got that big, burly, grown-ass man, Myles Garrett, over there probably lining up over right tackle, right? If that's the case, who do you go with at right tackle? Do you put Anthony Belton back out there and go, all right, bub, we're about to cut your teeth for real this week, right? Do you put him out there? Do you go with Kennard? Do you put Jordan Morgan over there at right tackle now that Aaron Banks is back at left guard? No. Do you put Jordan Morgan at right guard and try Sean Ryan at right tackle? I don't think we've done that yet. I can't imagine they would start with Myles Garrett. I want to get your take, Tim. Let's assume Zach Tom is not playing. How would you handle it here, Mr. Head Coach and Personnel Director?
First of all, I'm not interested in moving Jordan Morgan to the right side of the line in any fashion whatsoever. To me, he's a pure left tackle. The fact that we can get left guard reps or interior reps out of him is good. I'm not convinced that it's going to be a rousing success if he just moves over to right tackle. I think it's kind of rare that you see that, especially in today's game. I would give the start to Big Escalade. And I would play right tackle by committee. I'd run Kennard out there. I'd run Belton out there, and throw the kitchen sink at the right side of that offensive line to get through this game. And then we may have to tweak our game plan a little bit. We know how Cleveland is against the run. We know we're trying to really firmly establish our run game. It's going to be difficult to do. So, as far as who starts, maybe they do go with Kennard, just the experience, a little bit more experience factor maybe. But I would expect Anthony Belton to get some snaps at right tackle. But, yeah, no, I don't I wouldn't move Jordan Morgan over there. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tim, we need to put a little respect on Jordan Morgan for all this moving around he's having to do anyway. Yeah. But you're right. I think as far as I'd probably let him go would be right guard, just because, he did do a little bit of it, but I don't want you to have to rechange your entire kick step. I'd rather run a little overload, flip him over from left guard, do a double right guard set, and then you got a little bit of help over there. But yeah, listening to Zach Tom's interview, it was, it just said he's never had a feeling like that before. It's something in the stomach area, the side to side feeling is all right. But he said once he tries to get up and open up, it kind of just, I bet that hangs him up. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Right. And it just looks uncomfortable. It really does. He
looks painful right there. Does he not?
Right. And you don't want him to have to engage with Myles Garrett. 60 plays like that. He came back from a torn pec and he's a dog, but you're going into almost a rest. You're coming into your bye. Don't force it. If, we've gotten away with rotating guys for now, you want to see what Belton has. That's why we've taken the high draft picks we have. And again, Goody cooking, looking at the season, what happened? We had an injury at line basically immediately. We had another injury at line. And the only reason our boy Travis Glover's not going out there to start is because he put his body on the line and is out for the season. So,
man, I tell you, I love you some Travis Glover, big dog. I love it. So let's see. Weed in the chat says that must hurt like a MF. I guarantee it, man. That oblique, that can't be fun at all. Hardy the Prophet says, I'm gonna be at this one. Can't wait. Gonna wear the number 90 jersey I won on here. Thank y'all. Go Pack. Go. Love it, Hardy. Love it, man. Repping the LBN jersey. That's right, because he was up at the Hall of Fame. Hardy was, so he must live up there in the Ohio area. The Bengals game. Remind me real quick, just to get off topic a sec. The Bengals game. It's at Lambeau, ain't it? Darn it. Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure. I was thinking about going to that if it was on the road. So back to the chat. Chris, the casual win, says start with Kennard. Okay, so he's saying start with Kennard. Got it. Coach Lynn says I got to go with Belton at right tackle. Okay. 2-0 for this says Ryan at center and move Jenkins to right tackle, ? Ooh.
I think if we try to move Big E again, he's just going to retire.
I don't
like enough of this.
I don't hate it on the surface 2-0 for this, but I'm going to have to say no. If I have to give an answer there, because again, I think Ryan is, he's took steps in the right direction, but you kind of got the center position now finally under control. The last thing you want to do is move multiple people around, I was to go ahead.
Like I said, I would go overload. You got chips, you got back, you throw a tight end over there. You can throw 2 tight ends over there. There's a lot of options to help them get through. And it's, how many times you run into that side, how many times you're running away from them. Is it better if you just run at them and you let Belton or whoever it is get his paws on them and kind of turn them and you take your lane? We'll see.
Right. Yep. Deadfish says rotation between Belton and Kennard and then go more with the more effective. I don't mind that a bit. That's kind of what they've been doing, is they've kind of had a little rotation there. And Belton, man, listen, outside of the mistakes, Belton can handle it. This dude, he was Tim. You seen he was manhandling people, man. There was and I see that. You seen him get off on the snap and then just blast over and completely rib shot the D tackle and then still kick back out and cover his guy and block his guy. You see that stuff and you go, okay, that's 1 or 2 plays. That's great and all. I wanted to kind of hold the excitement a little bit. And sure enough, Brian Bulaga today, I think he was on Wildy and Tausch was talking about. He said, yeah, I thought he held his own. I thought he played pretty good. So that's a good check in the box there too. So if Belton can be your right tackle in a situation like this, boy, you feel real good about this offensive line next year. And I think there is a situation where Zach Tom might be your center next year. You move on from Elton Jenkins and you free up all that cap. And now you got Belton starting right tackle, right? You'll probably kick Jordan Morgan out the left tackle. You'll have Aaron Banks at left guard. And who knows, you may bring Sean Ryan back on a really, really cheap deal to play right guard. And then you just kind of reload in the draft again, unless, of course, Emilio's guy, Travis Glover, bursts back on.
Can you imagine? My man, he's going to take over the league there.
And then Biz 1987 said, give Belton help. Do the Bears have other elite rushers to worry about?
Right.
It's a good question. I don't think they do, right?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. We'll get into the PFF preview here. Hopefully we'll have time to do that in just a second. But appreciate everybody's comments. Thank you all for your take on that. And you guys let me know in the comments if you're watching this video later, which rotation would you like to go with at right tackle? Would you rather it be Belton? Would you rather it be Kennard? Would you rather go with a different offensive lineman? So looking at the injury report, here's the full injury report. Zane Anderson with the knee, full participation. Aaron Banks, Nate Hobbs, and Josh Jacobs were all limited. It looked like Josh Jacobs got a little bit of an ankle going on there. And, of course, I think we'll see a healthier version of Nate Hobbs this week. Jordan Love with the left thumb, full participation. Obviously, we're not concerned with that. Bo Melton limited is a good sign that he's going to be back sooner rather than later. Jaden Reed, just go to his IG story if you want to know how he's doing. He was pretty gassed up. But
why would he still be on the injury report? They didn't put him on IR yet.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think it's a formality. I think he'll go on the IR here in the next couple of days or something, probably with the new week coming up. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Someone in the chat could probably help us with that. But and then Zach Tom limited. I think it's going to be at least another week before Zach Tom.
Did you see his face? Did you watch that video, Clay? He paused and was like when Jacob gets a question he doesn't know, it's like, putting me on the yeah. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting, man. And again, this is one of those weeks too that when you look at the Zach Tom injury from a broader perspective, if you can go out there and take care of the Browns this week, and listen, it ain't got to be you. I'm hearing people saying if they don't blow them out, there's something wrong. Boy, y'all don't watch the NFL much. To pretend like it's just this is going to be a slam dunk, you're going to go out there and destroy them by 20 points is just crazy to me, man. And don't get me wrong, they're heavy favorites, but boy, oh boy, more times than not, when I see a +7.5, you can bet your sweet bottom I'm hitting the +7.5. Now, I'll never bet against my Packers, but there's a reason that line is where it's at and not to the 20 points or the 15 points that people are thinking.
I want to say Ross Tucker had him picked as like 24-16 or like maybe 27-16. Like it wasn't. He goes, I think it's going to be closer touchdown game probably with the Browns.
Yeah, I can see that, man. I can see that. So with Zach Tom, the point I was trying to make there, and I was very long-winded, I apologize. Listen, if you can go out and take care of the Browns, there's no reason to rush him back next week either. Let's just make sure he's good to go. Because if you can get through this week and next week and somehow, some way enter the bye 4-0, and he's now rested, it'll be 3 full weeks with the bye week. You're feeling a lot better about that injury. So on their side of the field here, the Cleveland Browns, Joe Batonio, guard, did not participate with a back. Their punter was limited. That's Bojorquez. That's Bojo. We used to have Bojo, didn't we, way back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. DeAndre Carter, wide receiver with a concussion, did not participate. We'll probably know tomorrow whether he's coming out of concussion protocol or not. Malik Collins, defensive tackle, was just in our rest. Jack Conklin, a tackle with an elbow, limited. Grant Delpit, safety, was limited. Mike Hall Jr., defensive tackle, was limited. And then Denzel Ward, cornerback with the shoulder/cramping, was full participation. So nothing really to speak too much on there. You guys got anything else you want to add to the injury report?
No, it looks like pretty much everyone's going to be a go for Cleveland, right, on here. Other than the obvious, like you said, Carter with the concussion, we don't really know. And then looking at our side of the coin, Josh Jacobs with the ankle. The fact that he hasn't missed and that he's just been limited tells me it's probably some kind of nagging thing, typical wear and tear on a running back, right? Tape it up, get out there and do your thing. So nothing to worry about. And super excited to see Bo Melton returning, even though he was limited, returning to practice. That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Absolutely. And honestly, good to see 10's not on there anymore. You had a couple other things. The receipt looked a little long at the beginning. We're kind of narrowing it down. Bye week's going to help. But I'm just happy that we have the depth we do pretty much all over this team. I think they really did a good job, setting and building the roster.
Absolutely. And I want to mention here too that when you're talking about depth, many people talk about the receiving room, right? You're missing Christian Watson. Okay. Now you're missing Jaden Reed. Well, it's a good thing that the Packers are 5th in the league right now, guys. They have run 12 personnel, 42.7% of the snaps so far this young season. That is a wild statistic there. So again, they are in 2 tight end sets, almost half of their offensive snaps. That's really, really exciting. If you go to 11 personnel, the Packers, let me sort it by rate here. The Packers are usually toward the top with this statistic. They are 27th in the league at 11 personnel at 44.5%. So that's a wild, wild difference from last year. If we were to go 13, I'm just curious, we have ran the 6th most 13 at 6.3%. So
might see more of that on Sunday. You never know.
Right.
Yeah. And then you throw in 21 personnel, right? With 21 personnel, Green Bay's 10th there. So between 21, which is 6.3, so let's just call it 6%, right? Your 12, that is 42, let's call it 48. And then, of course, you've got your 13, which is 6. I mean, you're forcing defenses into their base package a lot. That says a lot about what they – and here's what's crazy is you're passing out of those sets. So you're getting them in their base, and then you're running a little play action.
That was that Tucker seam route on Chalk Talk, right? That was out of 13, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's 12 or 13, yeah. And you have speed with Musgrave. Yep. You have speed with Musgrave. You got a little physicality with Fitzpatrick, and Tucker can do it both. And then you find out who's open.
Yep. Or like you were saying last night, Clay, you can almost mimic that with Savion Williams in the right alignment. I mean, he's got that body type, strong hands, almost gives you the advantage of having that extra tight end out there.
That's what I loved about that 13 nasty gun was your one receiver was Savion. And hell, he's imagine a cornerback trying to take him on one-on-one, in a blocking situation. I mean, might as well be a tight end. You're talking about 225 pounds or whatever he is, right? So, yeah. All right, let's dive into the PFF preview here. Can you guys see that okay? Is that all right for you guys?
Yeah.
A little bit tiny font. That was a no, but I appreciate you being a little
tiny. I have my full screen. We're good.
Let's see if we can zoom in. It changes when we do that. So I'm more familiar.
That's fine right there. All right.
Good deal. So here's what we got, guys. Let's first focus on the line. Okay. So the line opened up with the Packers being 7.5-point favorites. It has stayed there. Okay. So the line hasn't moved. The Packers are 7.5-point favorites as it sits right now. Now, when you go to the PFF line, their spread, right, that their analytics comes up with, plus 8.9 for the Packers. Now, it dipped one day in to plus 8.3, and then it drops to a plus 8 is where it's at now. So it's a full or a half of a point higher than the actual market lines. So the reason I mentioned that is PFF is suggesting take Green Bay minus the 7.5 is essentially what their analytics are saying right now. When you look at what the public is doing right now in the spread, and again, 7.5-point favorites, it looks like 89% of the money, okay, the overall cash, right, the money itself, the dinero, 89% is on the Packers to cover that spread. 41% of the bets are on the Packers. So you've got more of the slips, right, the individual bets, 59% are on the Browns plus 7.5. 89% of the money is, or the overall money is on the Packers. So it's somewhat of a split, although it's leaning toward the Packers. I don't bet on Packers games. You guys know how I am about that because my emotions will get too involved. And when I bet, I'm looking to make some money. I ain't looking to, it's just the way it is. So when I'm looking at that, if this was not a Packers game, I would feel a little more confident in taking the Packers minus 7.5. However, I'm a sucker for those anything plus 5 or more. Those are the bets I love to go with. I love to let it kick off and go live. And then the other team go up to an early score. Now you're getting like a plus 12 or something, or a plus 10, right? That's when you can really make your hay. So just want to point that out, that it's somewhat split between the tickets and the money, but it's still leaning towards the Packers. I want to get y'all's take on that. How do y'all feel about that spread? Not from a gambling standpoint, would you put money on it or not, but just simply, we know Vegas knows what the heck they're doing. Do we feel pretty good about us being 7.5-point favorites?
As good as you can feel, right? Considering the vibe is we should boat race this team. But if you get into the weeds a little bit, you're right. I see this game probably being the closest one we've played this year for sure. At the end of the day, you're not your record. It doesn't matter. You can look at these, analytics, and you see that QB comparison. You see some of the team metrics, and you're like, oh well, this game's over before it starts. And it's like you got to dig a little deeper. And I think me being a person that's not a sports bettor, looking at these numbers and looking at how the odds makers have it, it does give you some insight. And that being said, I would say we probably win this game by less than 10 points. Yeah, I think the tutter is probably fair.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going up. The battle is our fourth offense going up against their defense, right? And their defense is a strong suit on their team. So it's maybe we get a break. If you want to get over that one touchdown score, you get over double-digit points, probably because our defense made a defensive score or a stop or a fumble or a quick turnover, something like that that sprung us to get those extra points. But it's a battle, and you're right. They make money for a reason. That's why I just stand clear of it too, Tim. I don't want to mess with that. I'm too many numbers to look at right now. I just want to watch a little football.
That's right. The first rule of betting is don't use your heart, use your brain. Right?
Absolutely, man. There's some funny comments I was looking at here. 2-0 for this says, I've lost a lot of money by not gambling. I love it. Jarrell Lee with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. He says, watching all 22 on Matthew Golden, the man stays open. Breakout game incoming. Green heart emoji. Could not agree more, Jarrell. And they were, if you turn on the tape and you watch Agent Zero, this dude, it's just a matter of time. If Love hits him on those two passes, he finishes with like 120 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. You understand? Could you imagine if Love doesn't overthrow him on that deep shot? That would have been, what would it have been, a 92-yard touchdown pass to Matthew Golden? Twitter would have broke. Packers Twitter would have broken. I'm just telling you right now.
Of course, if you underthrew it, it would have been a pick. So I'll take the overthrow.
Absolutely. You're going to miss away from the defense, right? Yeah, Completely agree there. Thank you, Jarrell. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. All right, let's look at the team metric. Or actually, let's go back to the money line real quick. This is what worries me, okay? Money line, 99% of the money, the public, is on the Packers to win outright. 98% of the bets are on the Packers. We know lucky that jam, but the spread is more important in terms of truly looking at those numbers. I think the Packers are in a good spot. If they go out there and protect the football, they'll win this game. I believe that. So, all right, team metrics, power ranking. The Packers are now up to 4th, according to PFF. The Browns are sitting in the 28th spot. All right, power ranking on defense, it's official. They have the Packers in the number 1 spot in terms of defensive power ranking. Getting some respect. Now, Cleveland, 11th, right? Pretty solid defense, so got to be aware of that. Offensively, they have the Packers offense ranked 8th, and they have the Browns ranked 30th. Strength of schedule played so far, however, you got to tip your cap to the Browns a little bit because they have played, it says, the first in terms of strength of schedule. We're 3rd, so we both played some tough opponents right out of the gate, right? Average offensive snaps, they're averaging 76.5 offensive snaps. We're averaging 59, but that's probably because the other team just keeps scoring on them, right? To be my guess. So extra possessions there, and probably turnovers too. We haven't even looked at that. Percentage of run plays, they're running the ball only 29% of the time. Joe Flacco, Tim, is passing 70.5% of the time. The Packers are throwing the ball 52.6% of the time. Keep in mind, out of heavy sets, right? So that's by design. That is strategically planned by Matt LaFleur going into these games. There's no doubt about it. EPA per run, we have struggled. Minus 0.13. They've been more effective in the running game at a positive 0.06. EPA per pass, however, we are a positive 0.28. I think Jordan Love was 4th in the league, if I remember correctly from last night. The Browns and Joey Flacco, minus 0.28. So we've got the edge in the passing game. They've got the edge in the running game so far in this young season, only 2 games. However, everything else across the board pretty much favors the Packers all the way down, right? So that run, that EPA per run, Emilio, doesn't make a hill of beans, bub, if they're losing, right? Because they're going to have to wing it all over the yard.
Absolutely, and that's probably why you see. 70-30. That's like what I'm doing in Dynasty. I'm trying to get my man the Heisman. You know what I mean? So you can't live on that forever. You know what I mean? You got to be able to lean on the run. You got to be able to control the clock, slow down the game. If your defense is out there getting toasted, you got to be able to give them a breather. And it just doesn't seem like they just kind of have that blend there. And you're right. You're down touchdown. You're down 2 touchdowns. You got to try to chase it to come back, and you can't get explosive runs. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, Tim, when you look at this quarterback matchup here, man, Jordan Love, 86.7 PFF grade, Joe Flacco, 57.7. Passer rating when clean, 151.7 for Jordan Love. When the pocket is clean, Tim, Joe Flacco's passer rating is an 86.5. Passer rating under pressure, Jordan Love sitting at a 49.8. Flacco is at a 38.9. You know what this tells me when you look at those numbers and just how significantly lower his passer rating in a clean pocket is? I wouldn't worry about dialing up the blitz.
I was just going to say, I wouldn't blitz that, man. Not at all.
Rush 4, you ain't going to worry about him scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
Reduce. Now you can take that one technique touch spot we talk about. No, let him pin his ears and go to. You know.
Yep, I agree, 100%. We know Flacco's not that he was ever super mobile, but definitely I would prefer to keep him in a clean pocket and let our boys handle their business for sure. And then hopefully we see more of the same from this O-line on our side of the ball with Jordan, keeping him clean. And, I would anticipate that after this weekend that his PFF grade is going to go up just a little bit. So,
yeah, I think our walls are going to be all right, Tim. I want to see what the Browns wall, see how that thing holds up, see if we can't find a crack or see if we can't break through that thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You look at the big time throw percentage, Jordan Love, 9.84%. Joe Flacco is sitting at a big goose egg. So he has hit on 0 big time throws. Okay. Turnover worthy plays, however, Jordan Love is at 3.28. Joe Flacco only 2.94. Okay. And then power rating, they've got Jordan Love at a 4.5. They got Joe Flacco at a 1.5. That power rating rank puts Jordan Love 7th best in the league, and it puts Joe Flacco 24th best in the league is how that sits. So anything else you guys want to see here before we get into some of the lineup talk? Anything at all?
The over under of 41.5. Over under. What are we talking about here?
Man, that's a great one there. So I feel like our defense will probably hold them to less than 20.
I think so too. Definitely.
Feel comfortable about that. So now the question becomes, will the Packers offense score 22 on this defense?
How about 27 for the third week in a row? 27-17, packed by 10.
So I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about the over, Emilio. Let's look at the weather real quick. 67 degrees, just a few clouds, 1 o'clock kickoff. That's a beautiful day for football. I take the over for me.
As long as they don't eat the chili before the game, man, we are good to go.
You not like the chili out there in Cleveland?
No, I don't know. It depends on what kind of beans they put in it.
Hey,
I'll have to double check next time.
I heard it from an expert right there. I promise you.
Around here, we put cheese curds in our chili, man.
Now we're talking, Tim. Now
cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Culver's is bringing back the curd burger. That's en route soon. So you might need to take a little drive down, bud.
I'm going to come down. We need to have us a little lunch meetup, a little game planning session. I've never ate at Culver's, guys. Never happened. Never have, man. Never happened.
Wow.
I know we got a few here in Tennessee. They're just nowhere near me, unfortunately. They're closer to civilization, I believe. But and as far as the beans down here in Tennessee, we like to put a little bourbon in them, just a little splash. You know what I mean? Just a little, little whiskey, a little bourbon. Just strip it in there, and you're good to go. So, by the way, I've been hearing. I need to know in the chat too. We usually don't talk food on this particular program.
I'm sorry, I got us off track.
I'm hearing people say put a little brown sugar in your chili. Y'all do that? Y'all ever heard of that? A little brown sugar, sweeten it up just a touch.
Just sweeten it a touch.
I got to try that this winter. So there you go. Look, double chin is I'm gonna break the double chin back out. We're pulling it out of retirement here real soon, right? All right, let's get into the lineups here. Let's go. It's funny. I always say we need to go 11 personnel against their nickel. We're to the point now where we might want to just start focusing on 12 personnel against base, right? I mean, the way this offense is playing. Let's start at 11 though, right out of the gate, and looking at let's go their offense against our defense. Okay, so Flacco 57.7. They got Quinshawn Judkins is who they got listed here, 67.7. There's that offensive line, Emilio. Jones at left tackle, 33.4. Batonio, assuming he'll play, and again, he's on the injury report, a 78.7, pretty solid player there. You got Posick, is that how you say it? Pocic, maybe?
Yeah.
He's at a 58.7, Teller a 74.6, and Conklin at a 50.4 at right tackle if he is starting right tackle. Their tackles are weak. This is going to be a Micah Parsons or Rashawn Gary game, I believe it was.
LVN. How about we get a little bit of LVN talk? I would be totally fine. A little rotation, get Kingsley in there. Oh, come on now. If Barron Terrell gets another sack, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We're
I would think they're going to try and run through their tackles or run between their guards, though. They're probably not going to try and run off the edge very much.
Yeah, I think they flipped their offensive line, right, Tim? Normally, you try to get a solid center and 2 solid tackles. They were like, screw it. We don't need the tackles. Yep. We're going to get
all
2
interior,
guards.
Baby. And they got that rookie tight end out there, too. We'll take that.
Yeah,
and he is more of a receiving tight end than a blocker. So,
yep. And then we got Mr. Overrated himself, Jerry Jeudy, out there on the boundary. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Remember when Packer fans were screaming to trade for him?
Oh my
gosh. So you got Jeudy a 56.0, you got Thrash in the slot at a 57.2, and Tillman on the opposite side in the Z at a 57.3. They got Harold Fanning Jr., rookie, 59.2. So he's flirting with that 60 mark. You know, we were pretty high on Fanning Jr. coming out of the draft there. So that's how their offense stacks up. Now, when you look at our defense, we talked about it already earlier in the week, but we'll hit on it briefly. Micah Parsons, 89.8 PFF grade. Rashawn Gary's sitting at a 63.9. However, he is third in the league in sacks right now with 2.5 sacks. Devontae Wyatt, man, what a pleasant surprise, 76.2. And then you got Carl Brooks, again, like we had predicted in the preseason, he will be your one tech this year, starting off at 49.7. I'm telling you guys, PFF, they don't know whether to crap or go blind, so they close one eye and fart. They don't understand that touch spot of the one tech, man. I'm just telling you right now, they don't. And they just look at that and go, well, he didn't do his job. Give him a negative mark. And we're over here. Watch Carl Brooks blow up this game. That would be absolutely awesome. If the one tech started to eat all of a sudden because we're not worried about the quarterback scrambling, that would be phenomenal.
Yep.
At the midline here, at the linebacker position, stack backer, you got Edgerrin Cooper, 69.1, Quay Walker, 61.4. And then, of course, in the cornerback matchups here, if Nate Hobbs is healthy, 71.3. You got Bullard in the slot at a 51.1, and we got Keyshawn Nixon. Did anybody have that on their bingo card for him to be the highest graded corner in the league 2 weeks into the season at 85.2? How cool is that, man?
Dog. Absolutely.
I think we need to clip. Tim, don't we need to clip that man when he said, I want to be that number one corner, and just go ahead and plop it right next to the PFF grade and call it a day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man. I don't think any of us would say 2 weeks into the season we'd had this on our bingo card, but I do think that we were all keeping an eye on Keyshawn throughout this, off-season program and the preseason, and you could tell that he's one of those guys, man. I really respect the players that talk the talk and then they walk it. It's one. A lot of guys are just chirp, chirp, chirp. They don't back it up. Keyshawn's a guy that's gonna be confident, and he's gonna do what he says, and so far he has. And I can't wait to see him pushing 90s on the PFF grade. It's going to be great.
Yeah. As Kieran in the chat says, K9 is balling. Again, Tim pointed out, we kept hearing out of camp he was having a great camp.
Yep.
And you know me, I'm kind of skeptical. I'm like, all right, man, let's see what happens when the bullets start flying. And boy, oh boy, he shut me the heck up.
Keyshawn was the first one on the field and the last one to leave.
I remember you saying that at camp. Yep. Yeah. I remember you
every day. And it was contagious because we started to see other guys kind of joining in. You started to see more players out there early and staying late. So, big shout out to Keyshawn, man, not only getting it done on the field, but really kind of quiet as kept, kind of stepping up as another one of these leaders in this secondary for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then we look at the safety position. Xavier McKinney is got a 53.0. Keep in mind too, how many times you seen him targeted this year? Right.
I was just going to ask. I was just going to say that. I mean, yeah, his grade's probably not great, but how many times have we even heard his name called on the broadcast or anything?
Right. Yeah, you could tell that offenses are staying the heck away from him, and I'm sure what they're grading is his coverage and his technique and how close was he? Did this guy technically get open, whether he caught the ball or not, right? But Evan Williams is grading out pretty good at 84.4 so far. Evan Williams is an exciting young player, man. I love watching him in the box. He's a spark plug too, man. He gets his defense fired up. It's just so cool having him. Do you want to see the future of this defense, guys? It's right here. It's Williams, Cooper, and Wyatt. And you're going, what about Parsons? Parsons will be here at least 3 years, possibly 5, right? We know that. Gary, you guys know how I feel about Gary. Solid, I'm telling you. But that right there is the future. We're going to look up in 5 to 6 years, and Evan Williams is going to be a staple in this defense. Edgerrin Cooper is going to be anchor in the middle, and Devontae Wyatt, I think, will still be your 3-tech.
And you know who's going to take McKinney's spot once he's ready to nod off is our boy Home Depot is going to slide right into position up there and hold it down.
I love it. I love it. And future drafts too, man. You know, that's the other thing. That's what's so exciting about football, and specifically this time of the year. We know that in 3 years, actually this April, there's going to be other Evan Williamses, other Edgerrin Coopers we're going to be so excited about.
Yep.
I'm already looking forward to the draft. I just love the draft time. It's such a fun time to be a Packer fan. All right, let's move it along here. We'll try to go a little bit quicker. We're going to try to have a little bit easier show tonight, or quicker show, I should say. Let's go now with their defense against our 11 personnel. Okay, so here's what we got. Jordan Love, we talked about 86.7, fourth highest graded quarterback in the league. Josh Jacobs, 62.6. Again, people loading the box. There has been nowhere for Josh Jacobs to run to this point. That's if you were to ask me what's a weak spot for this Packers right now, the run blocking on the offensive line has been non-existent to this point, in my opinion. Just looking at the tape, there's not a whole lot of running lanes there. But what's LaFleur doing? He's passing out of these heavy sets, right? And the pass blocking been pretty darn good, in my opinion. So offensive line against our defensive line, we talked about this, right? There is the guy that PFF is suggesting will be the edge opposite of Myles Garrett. Joe Tryon Shoyinka. Is that how you'd say that, Tim?
I would say that was pretty good, Clay.
Hey, you know how we roll. 50, 67, 63, 53, 58. Not worried about it. However, opposite of Myles Garrett, right? You've got Collins at defensive tackle. So you got Malik Collins at a 90.4. Again, 2 games, right? Look at his career grades. 44, 48, 60, 64, 39, 64, 65, 60, 57. And then, one of these don't belong, right? I think we know which one it is.
And he's the one on rest right now on the injury report, right?
Yeah.
Cue up the off right tackle runs, baby. Let's go.
Hey, there you go, right? And don't be afraid to roll out. And here's the thing, too. I don't know how much they move Myles Garrett around. I do know they love to run stunts with him. And what they like to do, guys, is they like to bring him from a 7 to a 5 tech, and loop him all the way around to the opposite A to B is what they like to do, okay? So if you can see my cursor, imagine him lining up here, right? When the ball snapped, these guys will crash left, and Myles Garrett will start to engage, and he'll come all the way back around in between the A to B gap. That's something that they're going to have to look for on tape. But Jordan been getting the ball out pretty well, and I love the chances of Elgton Jenkins handling that stunt back to the inside. You know what I mean? So not feeling too concerned about that. But the Tuesday player, as we say, it's Myles Garrett. There's no two ways about it. Now, their linebacker position was looking pretty solid, right? You got Swisinger. Is he a rookie this year, or was he a rookie last year?
He is. He was on our radar. Yep,
starting off strong, 82.2. That is phenomenal. And then they got Bush at a 91.3. That's Devin Bush. You see his career PFF grade, 62, 59, 34, 58, 57. Last year, 79. This year, starting off even stronger with a 91. So pretty solid player there to look out for. Their safeties don't look too bad as well. Hickman Jr., you've got at a 71.9. You've got Delpit at a 79.6. You've got, I think that's Charvarius. No, it's Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward is grading out right now to 52.3. However, his PFF grades have been a lot more solid throughout his career.
Get Matthew Golden an apron and a chef's hat because Denzel Ward is about to get cooked. Holy cow.
I love that.
And then you got Newsome. Many people have been talking about, should the Packers go get him? His PFF grade, 68, 69, 66, 52, 69. So a 69.9 on this young year here. So the corners don't concern me. The stack backer position pretty solid there. So this might be a game where you do go to more 11 personnel and attack outside. What I'd like to see is you've got a two-game saturation of 12 and 13 personnel, right? We've talked about it. Why don't we go like 70% 11 personnel and watch it open up for the run game, and maybe open up with some play action or some RPO action with some bubble screens, some smoke screens on the outside. Take advantage of that outside if these linebackers are truly trying to key in on Josh Jacobs. There's going to come a point, though, guys, where these defenses go, okay, their running game ain't got it going. Let's really play the pass, and that's going to open things up for Josh Jacobs. I believe that. So.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and Carson Schlesinger, we had him 48-9 on the board. He was a captain, had the hard eyes. So I mean, we did like him, and he was their first or second round pick. So I'm proud of the dude for doing well his rookie year. You got a big job there to step in as a stack backer. But I do want to get Jacobs going. Maybe you're right, Clay. Maybe it's because we've been in this 13 kind of nasty. Maybe we need to spread it out, get a little bit wider, give him just a couple of lanes, find a spot between the slot or something.
Bottom line, stay committed to it like we have been.
Yeah.
Even if it's nothing fancy, your run game, Josh Jacobs doesn't need 140 yards and 3 touchdowns every game to be effective for us. As long as we stick with it and don't get away with it, I'm perfectly okay with another 80-yard performance and move the sticks. Absolutely. Keep that defense honest, man, and let's go win a ball game.
Yeah, you can't hide that, right, Tim? When we're at 49% and 52 or whatever, 49 and 51 for run pass, that's how you're sticking to it. You can see that the Browns can't stick to that because they're behind or whatever, but hey, you have to stay consistent.
I will tell you, consistently on tape, we have definitely been running the damn ball on first down these first couple of weeks. So I would not be surprised at all if old Tupac LaFleur busted out a play action shot play on one of these first downs just to catch that overly aggressive defense slipping,
Yeah, for sure. Could be a lot of fun, man. Get another piece of the puzzle this week. And it's Wednesday, so tomorrow we'll get another day of injury report that'll come out, and we'll get a little bit better idea of whether Tom's going to play. I don't know. Tell me how you guys feel as we get ready to wrap up. I feel like Zach Tom is probably not going to play. I don't get that. Now, Aaron Banks sounds like they're not going to be able to keep him off the field. And I think he does need to get out there and get some meaningful reps, especially against these next two opponents that could potentially prove to be beneficial, right? Like you're at Cleveland and then you go down to Dallas. Listen, Dallas can put up some points, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the thing. Now their defense is bad. However, when you got an offense that can just, go out there and put up anywhere from, 30 to 40 points, we're going to see how good Dallas's offense is against the Packers defense next week.
That'll be a real good test for us because Dak's going to want to spin it. He's going to want to push it. Got wide receivers you can pass to, got CD, all that. So that'll be a good test for this defense. I think you can't look too far ahead though, right? We got to get through the Browns. But Sunday night in Jerry World, that'll be a battle.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun, man. And I'm throwing around the idea, guys. We got great feedback when we went live during the Bears-Lions game. I mean, I'm still getting emails and stuff. People were like, man, that was awesome. My favorite was there was a couple of different people that said, I actually put your live stream on in the background on my phone while I was at work, and you kept me up to date on everything that was going on in the league because we kept going around the league giving score updates and stuff. If I didn't have so much to do during the Packers game, I'm really thinking about going live, but I think the majority of that broadcast would just be me sitting here. This is what you'd see, me writing the whole time. That's what you'd see the whole time. Probably pretty boring for the viewers, but it was a blast, though. We had a really, really good time. So doing that. Maybe we can do that on Sunday again when they play the Cowboys leading up to the Packers-Cowboys game. That might be the way to do it. Just go right into the pregame show type thing,
Yeah.
So, all right, boys, y'all got anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up here? Anything at all?
Just finishing up the thoughts on Zach Tom there. I'm with you, man. I think you hold him out. Like he said, we'll see how he feels tomorrow. The way he was moving today, man, I don't see a dramatic change happening overnight. It almost makes you wonder the more he does, is it hurting him? So if we could hold him out and then, maybe get him back for Dallas, that'd be great. Or like you said, hold him out through the bye week, give him 3 full weeks of rest and be ready to go for the Bengals.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So let's look real quick here. The Browns defense, all right, their passing defense, they are a positive 0.14. I don't know where that puts them. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, definitely in the bottom half of the league, right? It looks like, or right at the halfway point or the bottom half of the league in EPA per drop back. Now, what do they do the most? Cover one man, guys. They run cover one man 46% of the time. This will be the third straight opponent that's cover one man heavy. We might come out and wing that thing around again,
Yeah.
Yep.
See it happen.
You might have to if they're that stout against the run. Like I said, you got to mix your run game in. You got to have a run game to win ball games, but I wouldn't be surprised if we went a little pass heavy just to get points on the board.
And again, one of the things that you like to do against man coverage, especially cover one man, which they're running 46% of the time, is you like to run those crossers. Now, what have we done week 1 and week 2? We've ran a concept where it's cross corner, right?
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if we actually run the crossers now, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be looking for that cross corner now. And maybe it is a choice route too. That might be baked into the equation.
How about a slot corner from Tay Wicks? Let's go.
Ooh.
It might be one of those things that the receivers would have ran crossers on that play if the defense had showed different leverage, right? And that's why they turn it into a cross corner. So if they try to bite outside, continue to run the crossers there. So
And thinking about go ahead, Clay. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was just saying, looking at those numbers for Jordan under pressure, they still are running 5% zero man. So I mean that would be them coming with the house. You know, you're bringing everybody and you're just manning up on all eligible. So maybe they think, hey, if we can get a little pressure on them, maybe we can make this work. I think you got to have your hot route. You got to be ready to go, or bring in the back, pick up the blitz. Just things you got to consider. But yeah, you got three teams that you play back to back to back that like cover one man. Matt knows how to scheme it.
Oh yeah, we've seen it, right? You want to play middle field close with man? We're gonna light that boundary up all damn day long on you.
Yeah, we can throw Malik Heath out there and put his toes down.
That's right. Let's go. Toe drag swag. Let's go.
I'm such a closet Malik Heath fan, dude. I get sports when I see 18 out there, I'm like, that dude is a dog. Like he'll like what we call him water cooler for a while, right? He'll block you to the water cooler. I remember the catch he made against the Giants that should have been the game winner, right?
Yep.
If we hadn't came out and played man coverage, bump and run on the final drive, gave the fans what they wanted. But that, Malik Heath is, and they just done a good job putting this wide receiver room together. They really have, man. So, all right, that's it, guys. That's your little mini preview. And again, we're not done previewing this game. We'll continue to hit on it as we get a little later in the week, obviously. So we'll be back tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. We'll also have an updated injury report. We'll probably dive a little bit deeper into the team statistic rankings. I want to tell you where the Packers are ranked in passing or yards per pass attempt, running yards, rushing yards per carry, essentially. Yards per play, just overall offensive metric, points per play, scoring, and the same thing on defense as well as the turnovers, things like that, and kind of give you an idea of where the Browns are stacking up there as well. Because I feel like the Packers are about to have a flurry of turnovers. I feel like it could happen any second now.
Yep.
And you could tell that teams are really trying to protect the football when they go up against the Packers now for sure. Nick McSwain in the chat said, y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. Thank you for that, Nick. Appreciate you, buddy.
He had said earlier about jet sweeps. I was thinking about that. He was saying, first down jet sweeps or whatever. But Matthew Golden's been getting those now, kind of like how Christian got them early in his game, in his time with the Packers until he started branching out, and then you have your breakout game. So you can't let the dude get cold, right? You want to kind of keep him involved. You got to make sure he can get his touches. Kind of leading. It seemed it's similar to Christian, I guess, is how I kind of saw it earlier.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's a good point. Yeah.
I'd like to see them try and get Matt Golden the ball a little quicker in the progression, right? Like every route he runs doesn't have to be a 9. I mean, let's get him that ball early and let him be dynamic after the catch,
What we just talked about, man, if you come out in 11 personnel and you run a smoke screen or a bubble, do it to Golden.
Yep.
That dude could be electric with the ball in his hand and lead blockers.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hardy the Prophet gifting 5 Packer Fan Total Access memberships. Thank you so much for that, Hardy. We appreciate you, buddy. That's 5 lucky listeners who will be entered into the autographed Matthew Golden rookie card giveaway this week. And shout out to Dave Colvin. I'm going to be sending out this autographed Lucas Van Ness rookie card to him. We got a Romeo Dobbs autographed jersey going to be going out real soon. That'll be coming up, but we might do that for the post game this week.
Nice.
Actually, the Matthew Golden's on deck. It'll be next week. Next week we'll do the Romeo Dobbs giveaway for sure. So, yeah.
Love it.
All right. That's it, guys. And again, that's just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the channel. If you're a member on YouTube, or what I suggest is be a member on Patreon, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. You get extra content, and it's just a way you can support the channel and also win some cool prizes, stuff like that.
And appreciate the fans and everybody supporting the channel out there. We were, at 4,000 of pre-draft, or just shy of 4,000. We're over 6,000 now. That was going into the off season, into the quote unquote dead time. So just appreciate everybody, getting that message out there, supporting us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're 7 subs away from 6,100, actually. So
Crazy.
Go.
Yeah. And again, it's not has nothing to do with us. It's everything to do with the community that you guys are creating in the chat. I love that everybody gets along in the chat too. If we get a turd in there every now and again, they're gone, right? We don't even play with that. So just love the community that we've created here for sure. So boys, appreciate your time. Let's get out of here early tonight. What do you think?
Sounds good, man.
We'll
We'll
be
be
out
doing more prep for tomorrow, right?
I'm gonna be a married man tonight. All right, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play. Might go test out Golden's new haircut and see how it
Hey.
goes. Yeah.
There you go. He's gonna be a little bit quicker on Madden now. I promise you that. What is it Dion said? You look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good, right? Is that what it is?
That's right.
You look good, you feel good.
See,
You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. There you go.
That's right.
Which, by the way, I seen a video the other day. See, I'm gonna get divorced now. I seen a
Yeah.
video the other day. I didn't realize this, but when Michael Irvin broke his neck, Michael Irvin was telling this story too, that he was kind of looked up off the ground or whatever, and he seen Dion was walking around in a circle, waving his arms and praying out loud and everything. I thought, I grew up hating Dion because everybody liked to hate on the Cowboys in the 90s. And I know he made mistakes and he's arrogant, and I got you on that, but you look back, man, he's been a pretty solid dude, I think. Prime. I don't know how y'all feel about him. I know it seems like people either love him or hate him, but hated him when he had that star on his helmet. I know he can be cocky with the media and stuff, but I seen that and I just like, maybe the signs were always there, and I just went la 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 la. Don't like him. But
Yeah.
You can tell his players do love him.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, man, he's a football player, and he's going to put football players first and foremost, whether
Right.
that's guys he's coaching, guys that he played with, guys that are in the game now. They call him Unc, right? That's big Unc to all the young kids out there. And he's just another one of these kind of OG guys that's, a face of leadership, really, regardless of where you're at in the game. So I think you could probably accuse Dion of a lot of things, but not caring about his players, not caring about the game, not being a God-fearing dude. Those are things you can't accuse him for. So I think you're right. I think our Packers bias might have skewed the rankings when it came to Dion, because you can't argue with the output on the field. That's for certain. And then, feel how you want to feel. But I think at the end of the day, he's a football guy, man, and loves this game, loves the players.
Yeah, 2 over this says he backed up his talk. I respect that. J. Cole says Dion is flawed like any human.
Amen.
Dion probably way less flawed than this guy's talking right now, I promise you. So, yeah, Ben Holden said I did a lot of praying over the last couple of weeks. Me too, Ben. I relate to that, buddy. I relate to that big time, man.
absolutely.
Anyway, let's get out of here. Appreciate everybody. You guys are awesome in the chat. Hit that like for us. Hit subscribe. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Bye. Somebody give me the weird Jacob wave, please.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.